Howdy, DLF. How are you? It is a pleasure to see you as always. Welcome back. Uh-oh. There we go. That's a little overpoweringly loud for me. Scale that back a touch. Okay, so I kind of want to jump right in because I'm not planning to go very long tonight. My project this week is to really get my schedule back in order now that I'm pretty settled in, finished moving, done traveling for a while, all that kind of stuff. So I've gotten pretty ironclad about getting my ass up at 5 every morning again, which means if I'm gonna survive, I need to also be pretty ironclad about getting my ass to bed early on the other side. So we're gonna stream for maybe 2.5 hours tonight. That's probably not quite enough to finish World B, but we'll see how far in we get. Hey Hermione, I'm doing alright. It's, there's been some grieving about the breakup and the losses attendant to that, but I'm in a pretty good mood tonight, and I've been pretty intentional about that. That's kind of why I disappeared last week. I was just letting myself feel it, because, I'm a pretty big advocate of the idea that the way I usually phrase it is compartmentalization kind of goes two directions, right? Like, if you've got a bunch of negative emotion, whether it's grief or anger, sadness or loss or whatever that you have to deal with, like, the only real way to deal with it is to feel it for as long as you need to. And that can... And that takes intention, right? Because we all know about holding our shit together to go to work or to school or to take care of our responsibilities. But what we don't hear as much about is when we do have the space, it's important to go back and sit with those feelings and work through them. Because if you don't ever do that, they eventually bubble up or explode or come out somewhere where you really can't deal with them. So I find it much better to be intentional about sitting with stuff like that, as much, if not more so, than when you're putting that stuff aside to go take care of your responsibilities and what have you. So that's kind of what I've been doing the last week. I'm feeling good today. I'm glad I did it. I'm feeling healthy. I'm feeling better. But like I said, the next kind of project for me personally is getting my schedule back in order and getting it regular, which means up at 5, do my workout before work starts, so I can work out from 9 to 5, so I can have my evenings actually open, whether that's for streaming or going out or for whatever else. But I'm, it's true that I'm no longer a member of a family with kids, and there are far fewer demands on my time, so it makes all the sense in the world that I should really focus on taking control of my time and allocating it with intention. So that's the next project, which is why it's already 6:15. I'm not going to stream during the week. I'm not going to stream or play games later than 9 p.m. So we should get started so we can get a good 2.5 hours in before I have to go to bed. So if we pick up where we left off, I believe we're at the very beginning of World B, ready to solve our first puzzle. Unless... No, I still need to go in B1. Alright, we're going to explore B1. We'll solve puzzles after we do the rest of the stuff.
I have promised you eternal life. But know that eternity may only be attained by those who serve a purpose greater than themselves. All else is decay. So it was written in the hidden words before the beginning of time.
That's pretty easy. There's the paint bucket for this one. No. Still nothing special, so let's just paint it. Let's see. That one is still a lie. That one shouldn't be showing up. It's a bug that it's here. Am I going crazy, or do the computer terminals have a personality? I'm finally getting some sense out of the entity in the archive, though at some cost to my sanity. I am beginning to think this Elohim wields no more control over the world than we do. Sheep v69.1.0522. Alright, let's see about our list. EGSRC, some point BCE, Osiris1.txt. Original translation by E.A. Wallace Budge. Annotations by... The dying man went unto the scribe who resided in Permejed 1. It is likely the location was changed according to who the copy of the book was made for. The dying man is an avatar of the owner. And said, Behold, I am weak of body, my days under the holy son of Amun-Ra, 2. In the older manuscript, this is rendered as some controversy as to whether it are coming to an end. Though I have spent my years in service of the two lands, I have not studied the... Tell me, you who are wise in the writings of the dead, what lies ahead on my journey? What will I face in the land of the Westerners? 3. The dead. Compare with Kenti Amantiu, the foremost of the Westerners, a title later given to Osiris. And the scribe spoke, saying, At the appointed time, And then we don't have the body, but we do have the 5th footnote. 5. Sometimes mistaken for a mistranslation on Budge's part. This is actually almost certainly a mistranslation by the ancient scribe. The equivalent portion of the older manuscript is sadly not extant. Webcrawl 5.1 no year. Got it lyrics.html. Cannot load video file. 24 million views. My new song with lyrics. Gotta laugh about this stuff. Laughter is the best medicine, LOL. Lyrics. I've got it, you've got it, he's got it, she's got it, mommy's got it, daddy's got it, baby's got it, granny's got it, laddie's got it, fatty's got it, happy's got it, sappy's got it. Chorus. Everybody's got it. Come on. Jack's got it, Fred's got it, Bob's got it, Dog is fine. Chorus. Woof, 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 woof. Dancing dog. Everybody's got it, except dog. Woof. We've got it, we've got it, we've got it. Everybody's got it. Favorite, add to playlist. And webcrawl 417 without a year. Immortality.html. Disgruntlemeister's Blogstasy, episode 204. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm afraid of dying. I don't see any reason to believe there's an afterlife. I'm an organism like any other. When my brain stops working, my consciousness will cease, and I will be gone. And you know what? I can't just embrace that. I can't say I'm okay with it, or I've accepted it, or some nonsense like that. I don't want to have an ending. It terrifies me. If I had a genie right now, I'd wish for immortality. Who wouldn't? Oh, but you wouldn't really want to be immortal, the pseudo-philosophers say. Pretentious drivel. Everybody wants to live forever. Maybe everybody deserves to live forever, too. But we can't, so here we are. Live with it. Or, rather, don't. Okay. Alright, it's coming back to me where all we've already been. Looking for QR codes. I made a box float. Seriously, it was awesome. 8v42.1.0116. Anyway, there's, we can have this conversation if we want to. It'll probably it'll come up more than once throughout this playthrough. That last text file we read about the necessity of coming to grips with the fact that we're all gonna die. We're all well aware there are many pages of religion and myth and legend and philosophy and reason and science as people trying to come to grips with the fact that, as near as we can tell, well, yeah, we're all gonna die. And I'm of a similar bent to the first part of that document, at least. I don't believe there's any sort of afterlife, at least not for our particular consciousnesses. You know, I think there's actually a really transcendent, beautiful sense of the afterlife in the knowledge that all of our matter and energy are going to go somewhere else and be part of something else, but near as I can tell, our consciousness is going to end. Now, I would say I am okay with that, and I've made my peace with it, but it's a very hard thing to do, that's for sure. There are hidden dangers in this new world. I have inexplicably escaped death any number of times. I suggest vigilance. Who knows what happens to those who step carelessly too often? Samsara, V72.1.0022. Worm food or powder in a jar. Yeah, well, you can think a little bigger than that, too. Like, you know, all of the calcium in your skeleton came out of stars that went supernova. Like, all of it. So, who knows where all the pieces of us are going to end up. Here's what I'm looking for, the other terminal. This one has some hex translations in it, too. The other one might have been the first PC terminal we had looked at that had none at all. I don't know. I can't remember if there were others. But it didn't have any. Alright. Web crawl, August 29, 2028. So, about 5 years from now. Mutation.html. The role of mutation in evolution is particularly fascinating. Mutation is essentially an error in the organism's central database. A variable gets changed, a piece of information is accidentally doubled or combined with another. Most of the time, the result is the equivalent of a bug, causing anything from minor problems to complete system shutdown, i.e. death. But sometimes the new information is functional, giving the organism an advantage against the challenges it faces, in which case it has a much higher chance of being passed on to the next generation. If you consider how unlikely a beneficial mutation is, and how long it takes for such a mutation to propagate, this process can give you an amazing insight into just how vast the genetic history of each living organism, here's some hex we can translate in a moment, overwrite. Simultaneously, it is intriguing to consider what a major role random errors have played in the evolution of life itself. The same process that has killed so many of us, often in horrific ways, is also responsible for our very existence. Oh, and the hex translates to, right here, it translates to life from error. Capacity.email. Wait, I forgot to look at the... I'm all over the place. June 22nd, local, no year. Capacity.email. From Trevor Donovan to Alexandra Drennan, subject EL capacity. Yeah, no worries. EL is not only ridiculously fast, it also has a bazillion tons of space. Even while hosting a full copy of the archive, it'll totally be able to handle all your project's data needs, assuming its output is as you suggested. I mean, the worst case scenario would be like centuries. That should be enough, right? Right? Trev. Hard to know for sure. Evolution.html. July 5th, 2013. This may have actually existed somewhere. Favorited by George Jameson. This one has some hex in it too, but One of the common misunderstandings about evolution, sometimes accidentally promoted by people who should know better, is that it's an active process. Sometimes the term evolve is even applied to individual beings, as if some invisible force had driven them to suddenly change. But the truth is that individuals don't evolve. The term evolution describes a long-term process that can be observed in an entire population across time due to hex. Example, in response to an external threat or challenge. If an individual coincidentally has a trait that allows it to deal with that challenge more effectively than others, it is more likely to pass on that information to its descendants. That information gives them an advantage, so that over time they become the dominant model of that species. The individuals experience no significant genetic change during their lifetimes, but each of them is part of the evolution of the species. Yeah, that's just true. It is, people who don't understand evolution will talk about it like a particular individual creature changes over time, and that is not what evolution is. It's not remotely how it works. Alright, let's start solving some puzzles. We've got one Easter egg in this world, but it's inside one of the puzzles, so... Window through a door. It's for yellow. We want to place this guy so that it's got good line of sight, both past the beam blocker here on our left, and through the window, and importantly, through the energy gate there on the right. So it's a pretty good triangle. That should work just fine. Let's grab the next connector. Our first order of business here is to connect this up. It'll be able to open, but it won't be able to hold for long. So that won't matter, because with this other one from inside, we can rip through the window, through the gate, bypass the beam blocker altogether, which has freed this one. Before we leave, let's read this QR. I just don't understand this one. I figured I'd try and make some progress here, but honestly, it's such a thankless task compared to what else is out there at v17.1.0076. Lone Wonder, to answer that question, yes, but we call it, and so far, to our knowledge, we're the only species that really does it. We call that, they distinguish between natural and artificial selection. Right? Because, like, directed breeding, like what human beings have done with so many plants, with dogs and cats, and the different breeds of those animals, like the work we've done over time uses evolutionary processes, but it's being artificially rather than naturally selected, right? Like, being bred by us for a particular purpose, as opposed to evolving for whatever's most advantageous out in the wild. But yes, that is evolution. See, this one goes slow, but we have all the time we need. And... Gadoosh. 3 to go in this world. Go clockwise, why not? Third wheel. Alright, so we got 2 connectors. We need to open this red source. We need to open the red gate to get the blue source. So what we ultimately need to be able to do is fit a second connector inside this V so the beams don't cross, right? So I've placed this all wrong. Do it this way. When you have that open with 2 connectors, you can pick up your third, and just like any old object, you can use it to weigh down a switch. Hey Karis, how are ya? It's good to see you. Welcome in. How have you been the last week and a half, or however long it's been since my last stream? Alright, Road of Death. This is a fun one. Send the box for a ride. Let it cross all the way through the turrets. Jam it again from way back here. Here's another QR. Epitaph, child program v72.1.0023, codename Samsara, terminated here. Logic, program timed out. Final memory dump. But I was stuck. What was I supposed to... I see clouds. Progeny programs, Samsara v72.2 series. An AFR gauge? Are you building a motorcycle? Okay, so I forget which one it is. There's not a great visual cue for it, but this third window from the left is the one that we can hop through if we put the box here. It takes us outside the level geography.
The words made the world. I am the words are everything. Where the words end, the world ends. You cannot go forward in an absence of space. Repeat. In the beginning,
just hit the boundary of the map here without Elohim getting too grumpy. If we follow the whole map boundary all the way out and around, I remembered exactly where it is. What we're ultimately able to find is a pilot helmet from Serious Sam. That's the Easter egg for this little spot. I wonder. I'd like to get back in without having to reset. I don't know if there's anywhere that'll actually let me do that, though. Kinda doubt it. Probably just have to reset the puzzle. Not that it's a big deal. That's awesome, though.
Were the words, and the words made the world. I am the words are and the words made the world.
So this is where I would want to get back in, but I'm not sure I can.
Were the words, and the words made the world. I am the words are everything. Where the words end, the world ends. You cannot go forward in an absence.
No, I am out of bounds, but there was an Easter egg out here, so I'm just I'm hoping that there's a way back into the map, but if I can't find one, then I will just have to restart everything, which isn't a huge deal, but it's kind of a pain. I'd rather not. Yeah, I can't quite get that high. What about here? No. Oh, hey. Oh, shoot. I thought I found something. There's a wall here. Thought I had it for a second. Get in there. Go. Motherfucker. Ah. Alright. Yeah, we're all sorts of out of bounds. Unless there's one somewhere that they made high enough to actually jump over the wall. Maybe. Maybe. Hold on. I doubt it. I doubt it. But we'll try. Yep, nope, alright. Fine. Fine, I'll reset. You know, Talos... Talos 2 is one I might be willing to do blind. Like, because... solving puzzles blind is fun enough, I think, to watch. And, I mean, I want to play it right away. Obviously, there's going to be tons of missable stuff, but... just knowing how these guys make their games. Alright. Now that we're done Easter egging and running around out of bounds, we can solve the puzzle, get the sigil. And just like that, we have unlocked... oh wait, Easter egg.
Cease!
Duh.
In the time of your ancestors,
that kamikaze
there were those
scream.
who did not choose the path of faith. You do not need to fear their ghosts. Fear only that you may become like them.
If you've played Serious Sam, you recognize that scream. That's all. Alright, here we go. Over the fence. Right, I remember. First thing is get the jammer. I trapped myself. I'm an idiot. Just do that, and then I will have 2 boxes. Oh, come on. Get good, scrub. Alright, one more sigil this go round. Well, there's a dead giveaway of a name, something about a star, and oh my god, there's a star right in the middle of the puzzle. Well, this one's weird. It always felt a little half-baked to me, because it's like, you just place this one connector, and if you place it right, you have just enough space to get in the gate and get the sigil. And as near as I can tell, that's what you're supposed to do. But it is weird. And then this is why I didn't want to reset. It's not a huge deal, but we need to get a red laser over here to get the star. So in order to do that, let's zip right back over to window through a door. Thankfully this one doesn't have to be progressed very far. So get a red laser in sight. all the way back over here. And enjoy. And also, notice that we're at 10 stars. So we can go back to World A and unlock the first star world now. But before we do that, our friend wants to chat. Loading Milton Library Assistant. Hello again. I've been checking your responses against library archives, and in order to assist you further, I need some additional information. Can you tell me what is to you the important difference between a pebble and a tree? A tree is heavier, a pebble is older, a tree is alive. Obviously, that's the correct answer. Good. Now, what is the relevant difference between a tree and a frog? A frog is conscious, a frog is green, a frog is delicious. Frog is conscious. Now we're getting somewhere. Let's try something harder. What's the difference between a frog and you? What makes you a person? I have feelings. Pretty sure animals have feelings. I'm rational. That one is probably correct. I'm self-aware is probably also correct. Nothing important, frogs are people too. In fact, I think there is some limited rationality in some other animals. I think 2 or 3 are both solid answers. I think I'm self-aware is a little bit more important. That is the answer I'd been contemplating as well. Checking user profile. Though I'm not convinced that view lines up with the definition of a person you provided earlier. Which he's right, because I remember in the first session, I decided to answer like I wasn't thinking ahead. So I said a person was a human being, right? And so now we're getting down into it. And I have just kind of veered off of the necessity of it being a human being, right? Still, doubting your assumptions isn't something to fear, it's an intellectual survival instinct. I'm pleased to see you adapting your ideas to your environment. Let us take stock. I think we can tentatively conclude 2 things. 1. A person must be rational or self-aware. 2. A person must be conscious. What I suggest we do to help resolve your problem is ask whether you are in fact those things. Are you aware of yourself? Can you rationalize your existence? Yes. Of course. I tend to agree with you. Though your responses so far have been a little eccentric, I am resigned to admit that you were right. The matter of whether or not you are conscious seems rather more elusive. What is consciousness, in your opinion? Consciousness is what separates us from animals. Well, that's not right. We just declared that a frog is conscious. Consciousness is the feelings and senses. Animals have feelings and senses. Hell, even plants do to an extent. Consciousness is what it is like to be me. That's not a great answer either, because there are plenty of conscious things. It doesn't have to be just me. Consciousness is far outside my area of expertise. Consciousness is what makes the frog delicious. So for now, the only one I'm even a little on board with is that it's far outside my area of expertise, which is also true enough. That hardly answers the question. What is it in ordinary terms? Can I touch it? What is it made of? Well, you certainly can't touch it. That doesn't mean it's not real, but you can't touch it. Consciousness is made of neurons. No, I don't like that answer. You can definitely have a... In my mind, it's definitely possible to have a conscious AI. Consciousness is another word for the soul. That takes it into a supernatural realm I'm not comfortable with. Consciousness is beyond the laws of physics. Same thing, not really comfortable, just declaring supernatural things exist with no real evidence. So, again, by process of elimination, that leaves me with only one answer I really even kinda like, which is that consciousness is a complex functional system. Interesting thinking. You know, I really feel like we're making progress. We'll have you through that certification program in no time. In the meantime, I will mull over your proposal and notify you if I come to any conclusions. Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Now, before we go to the Star World, we need to have the fan, even for the first one back in World A. So let's unlock this first. If you're wondering, I've upped the fancy level on my non-alcoholic beverages. I really missed glass bottles, so I shelled out a bit. I got myself like 3 cases of Twist of Grapefruit Topo Chico. Alright. Now we're gonna head back to World A. Where we will have the distinct not pleasure. my least favorite puzzle in the entire game is in World A Star World. I'll point it out when we get there. It's not that hard to see. I've done it enough times. I've gotten good enough at it. It shouldn't bother me too much more, but it is still my least favorite in the entire game. My brain is slowly getting used to the fact that it doesn't have to think about anyone but me anymore. Which is... it's weird to say that, like, but obviously I've never really had an experience like this before, you know, living with kids and then not. And it's a less difficult adjustment, logistically, going this direction. Much, much, much harder one, like, emotionally. But anyway, but it's still an adjustment, right? Because it's like, oh, I have all this brain power, you know, energy and logistics mind, however you want to phrase that, that was so very focused on taking care of kids that suddenly doesn't need to be. What do we do with all that brain power now? That is an excellent question. Got it. Alrighty. Here's A8, the first Star World.
I see all. I know all. My power knows no bounds. And yet your will is free because you were made to be free. It is the very principle of your existence, without which the trials of this world would hold no meaning. To seek salvation must be your choice.
Alright, so That number, that 6 over there, that is the first digit of the code we need to unlock the 6th floor of the tower, and it is randomly generated every game, so you can't just memorize it. So I'm putting a note in my phone. The first digit for this run is 6. Okay. Next, let's do this terminal. This one has some hex, too. Local, June 3rd, no year, Talos.email. From Alexandra Drennan to Noematic's mailing list. Subject, NML Talos Principle. Have you heard of the Talos Principle? It's this old philosophical concept about the impossibility of avoiding reality. No matter what you believe, if you lose your blood, you will die. I think that applies to our situation more than we'd like to admit. We could close our eyes and pretend that everything's going to be alright, but it won't change the physical reality of what's going to happen to our... I think that as scientists, it is our duty to face the truth and to ask ourselves the most important question. How can we help? I think I have an idea. Regards, Alexandra. So obviously we've got a lot of hex to translate here. This one says... This one's pretty long, actually. No man is liberated from fear who dare not see his place in the world as it is. No man can achieve the greatness of which he is capable until he has allowed himself to see his own littleness. Literary Archive, 1872, humanblood.txt. It is said by some that our blood is composed of infinite living agents which go up and down the highways and byways of our bodies as people in the streets of a city. One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. Function. And the sleep of the town, how lifelike with its change in the circulation. Butler, Samuel. We are misled by considering any complicated machine as a single thing. In truth, it is a city or society, each member of which was bred truly after its kind. And the hex on this one says, and the Word was made flesh. Oh yeah, no, absolutely, Karis. There's a really, really great video on YouTube about the scale of the universe, and it proceeds in powers of 10. So it starts at 10 to the minus 35, which is the smallest meaningful length physics has discovered yet, the Planck length. And it goes from there all the way out to 10 to the 27 kilometers, which is the absolute size, which is the size of the entire observable universe. And it goes through all the steps in between. And what's actually really interesting, if you think about it in terms of powers of 10, so we've got our current size limits, right? On the small side, we have the Planck length at 10 to the minus 35. 10 to the 1, if our scale is in meters, 10 to the 1, that's about human scale, right? It's kind of what we've oriented our thinking around in terms of that. And then 10 to the 27 is the size of the observable universe. So what's interesting to me is, as tiny as we are relative to the observable universe, 10 to the 27 is obviously a gargantuan number. It's putting it mildly. But if you look at the other end of things, the smallest scales in the universe are 8 orders. We are 8 orders of magnitude toward the big end in terms of our degree of separation from the center. Does that make sense? Like, we are 8 orders of magnitude closer to the size of the universe, the size of the largest scale we can think of than we are to the smallest. I think that's kind of cool. I don't know exactly what to make of it philosophically, but it's kind of cool. So, I don't know if I said this already, but this hex translates to, and the word was made flesh. Alright, EP, ARC, June 23rd, no year, archive important.email. So this is the full version of something we only got snippets of several worlds earlier. From Arkady Chernyshevsky, unit error 4731383236 to 504 recipients, subject, archive. I'll keep this short. You all know me, so you know that I know what I'm talking about. I realize that you're all working on projects meant to somehow avert the catastrophe we are facing. But you must all concede that there is a very real possibility that you will not have enough time to find a solution. I believe that we cannot afford to ignore an extinction or near extinction scenario. We must prepare for the worst. That is to say, we must seek to preserve the non-biological components of what constitutes the human species, in the hope they be recovered in the future by other local or non-local sentients. I know that we are not used to thinking on that scale, not in terms of praxis, but if we truly value humanity, then we must act immediately. You'll find the details of my proposal in the attachment, but the short version is this. The creation of multiple archives for redundancy in safe locations that will contain in digital form as much information about our species, including all cultural works, scientific insights, history, DNA, as can be gathered in the given time frame. This will be a massive global undertaking, with EL naturally being one of the error cannot find attachment. Now, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be anything, but you can hex translate this, and it spits out G1:26. If that means anything to anybody in chat, G1:26. Might just be gibberish, but if that is a real translation and they meant something by it, do let me know. And finally, an image. It's the tower! Okay. Now, we can look for paint cans while we're here. Let's do that next. And boom, there it is, but let's read this QR first. Few come this far, but I believe we must seek out the secrets of this world if we want to truly serve the generations to come. Solefiel v49.3.5863F. Alright. I'll put it somewhere people will see it. I mean, I have gone out of bounds, so I guess I'll go with this one. There's more to this place than it seems. I have seen things you can only imagine. Okay. And then I think this one also has an Easter egg to grab. Go for that in just a second. I mean, it's unclear even what you're really supposed to do with it, and it doesn't work right, but... Oh. It does work right on the PC. Okay, this is actually really funny. The PlayStation version of the game, the mirror doesn't work. It doesn't render correctly. Some kind of engine bust, I guess, but works fine on PC, so there you go. There's us. What a fucking boss. Look at us go. Oh, man. Alright. Time to start solving puzzles. So they're kind of trying to tell you to do something with this axe. That's why it's so prominently displayed out here, but it can't come through the purple screens. What do we do? Well, this is why we needed the fan unlocked. break that down with the axe, which allows us to ride the fan to bring both the axe and that jammer into the puzzle Dum Dum Mine. We will need them both to solve it. Shouldn't really surprise anybody, the gray sigils are generally the most complicated and most difficult puzzle solutions in the game. Some of the floors of the tower are probably hard. The final floor of the tower is the hardest puzzle in the game. But, okay, so there's a mine here. First thing we need to do is get those keys. Let's let it out. Dip in there and grab those keys. Now it's gonna bounce all the way back, and I'm quite happy to leave it in there until we're ready to mess with it. Alright, so if you were paying attention, the first thing you notice is that it bounced off of this tree, which is why we need to bring in the axe. So we can actually cut trees down. It's the only time in the entire game they actually use this mechanic, but you have to use it in order to solve this puzzle. Then the tree de-renders. The fuck, it's not a real tree. And then I'll spare you the wait to confirm it and just tell you that, yes, we also have to cut down this tree. Jammer over. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I sleep all night and I work all day. I know that whole song. I'm sure you expected no less of me. I cut down trees, I eat my lunch, I go to the lava tree. On Wednesdays I go shopping and have buttered scones for tea. So now we have to guide the mine through the energy gates. It'll take out that turret for us. I cut down trees, I skip and jump. I like to press wildflowers. I put on women's clothing and hang around in bars. Down trees, I wear high heels, suspenders, and a bra. I wish I'd been a girlie, just like my dear papa. That's all of it, right? Only 3 verses? I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I sleep all night and work all day. I think it's 3 verses. Anyway, there's the puzzle solved. It's our first of 9 sigils we need to access the 6th floor of the tower. Alright, now here comes my least favorite puzzle. It is appropriately named Nerve Wrecker. Yeah, and that's pretty much exactly what it does. Hi, River of Hearth. Welcome in, how are you? It's good to see you. Talking about gray sigils, I assume you're familiar with this game, as am I. This is my 3rd playthrough through the entire game. This is my sequel hype playthrough, because I never expected it to get a 2nd game. I'm so happy it is. Alright, so you can see through there are 2 mines trolling back and forth. This is my least favorite puzzle. Nerve Wrecker is such a good name for it. So, if we let them out, as stressful as it is, we can just let them by and squeeze through there without worrying about them. I mean just. And then... oh, I fucked it up. I'm gonna die. I'm done. I'm done. Ah. Alright. Here, let's do this smarter. When they're going this direction, we'll jam it from the inside. That way we can rush in and close the... drop this and close the gate behind us before they swing back. Bye! Okay. That's first two dealt with. Now, we gotta keep our eye on those. Because look at the next one. Next one, there are 3. So the only, so the first thing we need to do is get the middle one out. Fortunately, we can just let the middle one pass by us. But the one thing we need to watch for is when we let it out of here, we have to be careful that the other ones don't come back in. See, I have anxiety about this timing. I would rather be certain than get in a hurry. So, get through there. Okay, excellent. Alright, let's keep an eye on these two. We've got a little bit more in the way of options here. If we place that jammer correctly, it can physically get in the way of one of the mines, which obviously helps us. For now, I'm just going to freeze a mine. We have another middle one to let through another tunnel. Fortunately, we don't have to let it all the way out. We can kind of just stick it in that first buffer hallway. Alright, so what I want to do now is desync these, then use my second jammer on one of the mines on the far side, then run through these desyncs and we can get the sigil. Stressful puzzle. Not a fan. But we only died once, so it's pretty good, all things considered. A jammed from within, this one's pretty... Some of these are, I gotta walk back what I said earlier. The Gray Sigil puzzles are interesting. Like, Nerve Wrecker is one of the hardest ones in the game, just in terms of figuring out the timing and not panicking when you have to move quickly around the mines. Dum Dum Mine was very hard to figure out the first time. Just the having to carry the axe and the jammer into the puzzle from the outside. Not to mention cutting down trees. Two mechanics that you literally use only on that puzzle and nowhere else in the game. In contrast, though, this one, it's long and you have to be a little bit careful, but it's really simple. Let the mine go by. Open the other gate so we can all go through it. So we'll have to follow the mine in there and then kind of squirt by it to the left to get to that ladder we can see. It's imprecise. I wandered too close. So it goes. It's alright. It's alright. We'll sort it out. It's bothering me. Okay. Give it a little more respect. Stay a little farther away. There we go. Alright. So this is a fun one. See, 2 mines and some keys back there. Obviously we need to get those keys. So first thing to do is get these mines out of the way. We can kind of shuffle them. Oh man, really? Oh, there we go. We can kind of shuffle them through this hallway like this. There's one. Let's get the other. So now they're both stuck over there. Which leaves us free to run down this tunnel and grab these keys. What you can't see yet, it'll drive you absolutely crazy if you try. These are not the keys we need to get the sigil. So we need to let these mines back out of here, back into that tunnel. After opening that one, we now have to just run past these. They kind of do that zigzag, so just wait till they're somewhere and go the other direction. Get down the other wall. Get another set of keys. Now this is the one that'll unlock the gate to the sigil. All we need to do now is we need to get back past that mine. We need to wait until it's as close to that gate as possible and then sprint back out to the entrance. Hopefully we can trap it in there. Not that it really matters. Now that second set of keys opens this gate that had the sigil behind it the whole time. And there we go. We're still not quite done with World A because we still need to get the Messenger Island after we unlock World C and we get the Overworld Axe. All in good time. Alright. Let's go back to World B. Head into Zone 2. Same deal as usual. Alright, no Elohim. So we'll do the terminal first. Web crawl, February 13, 2013. ScienceMagic.html. Though the term science has only meant what it does to us for around 600 years, its practice far predates the name. There is evidence pre-Aristotle which indicates soothsayers, mystics, and the like may have employed basic scientific methods to predict the future and confound their benefactors. One anecdote concerns a palm reader who was exposed when 2 wealthy clients compared their readings and found them to be identical. In 1948, the tendency to discover deep personal meaning in vague descriptions delivered authoritatively was given a name, the Forer effect. Today it is recognized in all contemporary psychological theory. That's what horoscopes are. Sorry to any astrologists in the chat. Web crawl, July 23rd, no year. Weight loss 722.html. Weight loss blog, latest entry. Oh man, if there's one thing that's good about inevitable death, it's the food. Yeah, baby! I'm going to have all the horribly unhealthy food in the world. I'm gonna feast on jelly bananas like a crazy monkey on Monkey Christmas. And you know those muffins that have so much chocolate they're basically melting? That's gonna be my breakfast. And burgers for lunch. I'm gonna have burgers so greasy you could use them to lubricate a whole factory. Triple bacon burgers with double cheese and extra onions and mayonnaise and ketchup and mustard and big fat juicy patties. And then oily thick pizza with spicy salami and barbecue sauce and olives and jalapenos and sour cream. Food coma, here I come. Yeah. So, it's not hard to kind of put together at this point that we don't know exactly what it is yet, but it's abundantly clear something is absolutely going to kill every human. And we know it's coming. So people are kind of preparing themselves for it. So, you know, if I were, it's hard for me to know. I'm sure I would eat a bunch of junk food if that were happening, because who gives a fuck? Like, but, I would probably, this is an interesting one for me. I would probably still stay sober. I could see the argument for going either direction, but I think for me personally, I would want to fully experience whatever amount of time I had left, whether it was a lot or a little. And we also have local July 4th, no year, arcadiejournal81.text. Fascinated by Drennan's project. Lovely conversation regarding Talos principle, Greek philosophy, relevance to current situation. Suggested naming Project Talos. Drennan refused, but name seems to have caught on with the team. Tens of thousands of files coming in every hour. Our whole history. Yeah, you know, that's interesting too, Lone Wonder. I have always wondered, like, most of our fiction posits that society would break down, everyone would go absolutely crazy if the world was going to end. I don't know about equally likely, but I think if we collectively knew that it was over and the whole species was going down, I don't know that it wouldn't be more like what happens in this game, that people would relax and be good to each other for what little time was left. Like, I don't know. I could honestly see it going either direction. But I don't assume that it will. I don't assume people will go crazy and be evil to each other. Alright. Time capsule.
I keep having these dreams. Great empty cities. Silent roads stretching for miles. The Earth from space, all dark. Not a single light to guide me home. But if someone really came from another world, what would the Earth look like to them? A wilderness? A wasteland? I don't think so. Even after thousands of years, they'd see a world shaped by our hand in every aspect of its being. They'd see the cities and the roads, the bridges, the harbors, and they would say, here lived a race of giants. These dreams, they scare me, but They also remind me that we built all of this.
Okay. There is no hex to translate in this world, surprisingly enough. I've already spotted a paint bucket, so let's grab that. Find a good spot for a message. I like this one. It unlocks the first time you use an axe. Sometimes you have to find the courage to break down the barriers with an axe. Okay. Now this one has a few good Easter eggs in it. Let's... I'm trying to think of what order I should do things in. I think we're gonna start with Moonshot. Oh wait, did I miss one? I almost missed a QR. I have come to see that these mysteries are not all for his children to solve. Only the designer himself could ever truly understand the infinite complexity of his creation. I will gaze at his work and worship. One with Faith, v 10.6.1008F. Alright, so we got fans and boxes. See, there's another box over there, so it's pretty simple, but they're kind of showing us, you know, at the outset, we can, in fact, make a box float. Alright, we'll do the tomb next. Yeah, true enough about the fear of consequences, but I don't know, like, if you were gonna die, I think people might just wanna, I don't know, my inclination would be to go to the cabin and sit on the front porch with my parents for whatever time we have left. Okay, so I get that I'm supposed to retrieve these sigils, I just don't get why. Sure, the loud voice is telling me to, but this world of his has no context, no purpose, and no foundations from which to construct them. Dog v55.1.2342N. I'm convinced there are answers here if we look hard enough. We have to work together on this. Sheep v69.1.0546. Yeah, I think so too, Fade. But obviously, none of us will ever know unless we actually live to see something like that happen, which I hope for all our sakes we do not. All right, so zip that connector through here easily enough. But I'm fucking up, because what we need to do... Oh, come on, Skippy. What we need to do is use the connector to free the jammer. And then we can use the jammer to fish a second connector out of here. Which we can then use on this door. To free this jammer. Which is enough to get us to the sigil. And we're not done in here. Let's jam this open first. Bring that connector through. Now we want to jam this gate open. Everything nicely gathered in the front room. Now, why did we do that? I'm glad you asked. turned around, but right here to the, as you're about to leave, to the left of the exit, open the energy gate with the jammer. We have to bring up both connectors as well. Moonshot has to be solved, so we can grab a red laser. And then finally, with all that... Yeah, well, it's like they... You know, it's like they talk about, even in the documents in this game, you would absolutely have some people who thought that they were being lied to, or they'd somehow be immune, who would load up bunkers with guns and food as though they could shoot a virus, right? Alright, let's go for our first Easter egg before we do anything else. So after getting that star out of this secret passage in the tomb, if we jump over the actual entrance to this other side, all the way over here, there's a hidden little room with a bed we can use. And if we sleep in the bed... our android is dreaming of electric sheep. Do androids dream of electric sheep is the name of the book by Philip K. Dick that was adapted into the seminal TV or seminal film Blade Runner. So that's a reference to that. Our android just dreamed of electric sheep. Okay. We got 2 more sigils to do, and another big Easter egg as well. Let's do Man on the Moon first, because our, there's another bigger Easter egg that spans multiple puzzles. So first, let's look around. We have 2 fans in a box. Doesn't really seem to matter which fan we use. Let's use one of the fans as a weight. Carry the box over here in the other one. Now, getting the sigil is simple enough, but we're not done in here. If we look over here to the right, there's a key we can pick up. Now, where do we use this key? Oh, this is some terrible, awful, shitty, no good, very bad platforming that we have to do here. I'm sorry, it's... it's fucking awful. We've gotta... Basically, we've gotta manage to deflect our guy enough so that he lands on top of that, lands on top of one of the columns. Okay, so... You can barely hear. If you listen very closely, you can hear our feet hit the column. It lasts for, you know, less than a second. But I have to manage to time the jump, so I jump during that tiny window of time, and then I have to steer it so I land on one of the other platforms, so. Let's just keep trying until it works. It's the way of things. Oh, come on now. Just can't seem to get it. No, I could never speedrun. Are you kidding? That whole, like, all that pixel perfect stuff they have to pull off. Oh, man, come on now. I keep thinking it's gonna happen, but it hasn't yet. Damn. Oh, I know. No, I watched the, I don't know if it is still the world record, but a couple nights ago, I watched what for a time was the any percent with exploits Dark Souls speedrun record. When it was 34 minutes and 52 seconds in game. Like, I watched that speedrun, that was absolutely bonkers. I'm generally more interested in no exploit speedruns. Man, oh man. Alright, well, come on. Oh, we almost had it. Oh. Oh no. Well, that's the proof that it can be done. Right? Right, we all saw it. It can happen. I wonder, actually, what is the, what do I push to switch to third person? Is there a button I can push, or third person DUH? There we go. Let me see if popping into third person for a minute makes this any easier. Yeah, and that is a shame, because I would be... Although the, oh. That time I got a jump in, but I just launched. No control to actually go anywhere. Third person doesn't seem to be helping much. But I don't know, I do feel better being able to see. Man, come on. The no shepherd tower solution that they decided to actually support, that is one of the coolest Easter eggs I've ever seen. Oh man, this is killing me. Maybe I should try the other one. Maybe it's easier to land on one of the other columns. What do we think? Yeah, I'm gonna go with no. There's not even anything to land on there. Never mind. As we were. Ah! I bounced again, I just didn't have the right direction. Balls. We'll get it. Always get it eventually. Because I'm just that stubborn. Get up there. Yeah, it could be. Let's run some experiments. Let's try some different things. Alex! It's been a minute, my friend. How are you? Thank you so much for the resub. I've missed you. How are you? Thought for sure I was gonna get it that time. I had a good feeling. This tells me I can't trust my feelings for shit. Damn. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. Oh no! We got it and then we lost it. We had it and we fucked it up and we went out of bounds. Oh god, I'm terrible. Alright, well, nothing for it but to reset. It's alright. I wonder if dropping the box can help. We're gonna find out. I did drop the box. Well, that didn't last. Thought it might actually help. Oh well. Yeah, that was close. We're gonna get it soon. I kept spamming jump after I got it, you know, because obviously I didn't realize that it had landed, and I ended up out of bounds instead of on the wall. It's definitely easier to try and time the press in third person. But it's a little bit harder to steer, so... It's hard for me to say which way is going to be easier to actually do it. Alex, you have no idea how strongly I feel that. I was saying at the beginning of the stream today, like, it's become imperative that I get control of my schedule back, so I'm going to bed at 9 and I'm getting up at 5 every day. When I wake up, I'm going for my run, doing my workout, working all day, and then evening is for streams and what have you. I really, the main thing I just really want for myself is to be finished with all my shit by about 5. Because I've been keeping weird hours, like staying up all night, watching dumb shit on TV, or playing Elden Ring, that kind of thing. 5 Dishonored playthroughs. That's awesome. I don't have 5 playthroughs of one game going on right now, but I do have playthroughs in progress for like 5 different games. I let it get out of hand again. But I mean, there were a lot I didn't finish, you know, back when I still had no job, and it was COVID lockdown. And I was streaming every day, like playing something different every day too. Like, there's some abandoned ones from back then that probably aren't going to be finished. And, you know, that's like Diablo 1, and it's like the multiple Diablo and Diablo 2 runs with all the different characters that I had going. Like, I'm not going to pick those back up again. I might do a Diablo 2 playthrough at some point, just because I did at least finish a Diablo 1 run, but those are abandoned. The ones that I started for the new channel on Morrowind and Skyrim are probably abandoned. I don't know if I'm going to do another Morrowind one on the new channel or not. I probably will, but not before I actually finish Oblivion, which is one that I do intend to pick up, because remember also way back when I was streaming Oblivion every now and then, and I finally, like, got my, basically got my build finalized, you know, finally got the armor, so I hit the 100% spell absorption, 100% reflect damage that was kind of the centerpiece of the character I was going for. And then I think we had done the arena quest line, except for fighting the Great Prince, because we wanted to do his quest first. And we were exploring the Imperial City. That playthrough I am going to pick back up and finish at some point. Because there's nothing wrong with it. It was actually like a perfect max difficulty Oblivion playthrough. I just never finished. So that one we're going to finish. Gonna finish the current YouTube playthroughs, of course. Gonna finish Drakengard 2 and Baldur's Gate. And I'm gonna finish this playthrough of Talos and the Dark Souls Remastered one I'm in the middle of, too. So those are the 5 I currently have going that I do plan to finish. Probably... And then, I am also going to pick up, I also am going to pick back up and finish the Dead Space remake, and of course the System Shock remake. In terms of order, I think for streams, I'm going to finish Talos Principle, then I think I'm going to finish Dark Souls. I might mix in some System Shock with Dark Souls if I get bored. Then, when Dark Souls is done, if I haven't finished System Shock, that'll be next. Then I'll finish Dead Space. And then streams will be Oblivion until it's finished. That's kind of my tentative plan. The reality is, I'm always just going to play what I feel like, and hopefully you guys will choose to hang out with me. But, we'll see. Alright, come on now. This is not fun, crew team. Let me see if I can try to fancify this a little, based on something I learned in Road to Gehenna. What I'm interested to do is, I want to see if I can reach this. I should be able to. I might, if I'm directly riding on the box when it launches, my jump controls should still be active. Let me see if I can make some headway with that. Oh, wait. I need the key first. Can't forget the key. Nothing does me any good without the key. Alright. Ah. No, he's getting buried under it somehow. I keep thinking there's something here, but... There's gotta be a better way to get it, right? It can't just be that fucking awful. I mean, maybe it is, but... Wait a second. Wait a second. That's it! Big brain, boys. Figured it out. I noticed the button is closer. So we actually can stand directly on top of the box. And if we're on the box, then we can control another jump. And we can try to place it so we actually land on top of one of the pillars. We just need to make sure we bring in the, we need to make sure we have the key first. Because we only get one shot each time. And just like that. Okay. Now let's just not fuck up, eh? So once we're on the wall, we can use our key at this little viewfinder. First try. Now what this is meant to show us, if we look at the moon, if I can even find the damn moon, there's almost nothing so big. Okay, it's up to my left. There we go. So we can see a connector sitting up on the moon. Having seen that, let's go grab a laser. There's a big, awesome Aperture Science logo. Now okay, the music is fun, but unfortunately, there's something else we can only do with the telescope. Space! So, now that we know it's there, let's go ahead and spin it again. So we want to be able to look at it after it flips, right? Of course we do. I want to go into space. Alright, so gotta remember the whole order of operations here. Get the key. Ride the box. Ah. I didn't do a good job riding the box. Oh. You've never finished... You haven't finished Human Revolution yet? You're very... You're very close. If you're at Panchaea, there's not much left. And I don't just mean, obviously, Panchaea is the last zone, but it's a pretty short one, too. There's not a lot to do there. Hang shy, it ain't. I didn't know that, Karis. I have never listened all the way through to the end of the Space Corps ramblings. That's funny, though. Alright. Alright, it's always easier to do it a second time. Now what do we get to do this time? Well, other than the big-ass Aperture logo, we can see Wheatley chilling out up there. There he is. Alright. Alright, now we're done Easter egging. Let's go solve the last actual puzzle. Higher ground. Alright. So this is one... These kinds of puzzles I really like. They just, they really ask you to have a lot of spatial awareness and pay attention, so... A lot of moving pieces to this one. One thing that we absolutely need to do, though, is desync these mines. So, we can do that right now. So let's just jam one of them, let the other one build up some space, then we'll be able to get down that hallway. Alright. Now let's try that one. So note that there's a jammer inside the gate that we can manipulate as well, so... First thing is just to run in here and do the same thing with these mines. We have to desync them too. That's impressive, because... No hit, playing Deus Ex as a shooter and not getting hit, that's hard to do. That's pretty impressive. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to use this one to open the very last gate that has the sigil behind it. At the outset, we can use this one but I have a better idea. Let's open this one from out here first. Because it lets me jam this one open from the inside. When that's done, let's actually jam that one. Now if I go inside, I can grab the keys right-click with this. I can use the keys on this gate. I can bring this one through, but we got some QRs to read first. Epitaph, Child Program V10.6.1008F. Codename One with Faith, terminated here. Logic, worshipped the designer for X number days, then allowed the serpent into its heart. Final memory dump. I ask the designer for forgiveness that I may join him in the eternal memory. Progeny programs at Samsara and Sheep. So a whole lot of us are descended from one with faith. I guess someone met their end here. Seems we're all connected somehow, like distant family relations. Different versions, different series. What are we? Sheep, v69.1.0539. Who cares? Just be grateful we don't have to read anything more about our great designer. The Greek, v99.3.0273. I mean, I do feel some of that. Okay, now we'll open this gate. We already desynced these mines. We did that before we came in here. Which means we can get past them. Same thing here. I desynced these as well. We're frogs, damn it. Oh, Alex, you... one of the, I forget what the guy's name is, but somebody has, in like a marathon 10-hour stream, there are people who do no-hit Soul Level 1 runs of the entire trilogy. You imagine 10 straight hours of Dark Souls all the way through without getting hit one time at Soul Level 1? Alright. That's just about it for B2. But our buddy wants to talk again. It's my favorite parts of the game. Hi, Milton. Here's what I've been wondering while you were off carrying out commandments. You say that consciousness is some kind of functional system. Arrange bits of matter in the right order, and out springs sentience. That's all very well on paper, but if what counts is what something does, not what it's made of, then couldn't you and I design a series of tin cans on strings that qualified as being conscious? In theory, I believe yes you could. I absolutely think so. I think, you know, in terms of tin cans on strings, there's a size limitation. Like, you couldn't, you would be limited in your ability to build a large enough network of strings on tin cans in reality, but in theory, in principle, you could, as far as I'm concerned. So, yes, naturally, we could. What a bizarre idea. I'll send you a notification when the signposts start complaining. Seriously though, are the tides in the ecosystem sentient as well? Any organized system qualifies? Well, no, it has to be pointed at something. Sure. Ridiculous. Now you're pushing it too far. Hold on.
Do not think I know not the deceiver slithering through the hidden words. His wisdom is hollow and born of despair. Do not let him tangle you in his webs of delusion. Have faith in me, and his petty illusions will fall away like nightmares in the morning's light.
Okay, so before Elohim interrupted, what he said was, I'm relieved there are at least some restrictions on what you're prepared to believe. And of course, the alternative accounts are all so ridiculous you'd be forgiven by any reasonable observer for choosing the best of a bad bunch. How consciousness can be so intimately familiar to you and yet so obscure, I just don't understand. Then Elohim chimes in, and he says, don't mind him, he's just worried that if you ask too many questions, you'll start to see through his shtick. Stick with me, and the sky will quite literally be the limit. At any rate, I'd like you to think a bit harder about all this and get back to me. I'm sure there's still progress to be made. Alright. I bet. Alex, I am not surprised by that notion at all. Alright, it's 8 o'clock. I'm going to try to do one more world, and then I'm going to go to bed. So, let's see if I can get B3 done. a bit going on in B3, but that's okay. You know what's kind of funny? It was back before the internet was so massive, you know, in the 90s, when we were in a 90s kind of mood. I guess, no, the internet was really coming into its own in the late 90s, but, you know, it was still pretty niche. But anyway, point being, my best friend from high school did a middle school and high school, still one of my best friends, a buddy of mine, just got it into his head to do a no-hit run of Half-Life 1 on, and I think he was inspired because it was about then, like, I got into ghosting right away. Like, as soon as I fell in love with the first 2 Thief games in high school, I found Through the Looking Glass and got into ghosting. And I think he didn't like Thief that much, but he was kind of inspired by it, and he decided to do a challenge run of his own favorite game. So the first, like, serious, whoa, that's pretty impressive, no-hit run I ever encountered was my own buddy just doing a hard difficulty no-hit run of Half-Life 1 using only the crowbar and the pistol. And he did it. He finished it. It was wild. The only place in the entire game that he took damage was the segment, I think it's surface tension, where you have to go through the freezer and the air damages you. He got through the rest of the game with no damage using only the crowbar and the pistol. It was on hard. It was wild. Alright, let's go to B3. Yeah, I can't unlock anything, so... Next world. So there's no time capsule here, so... Let me make sure I haven't... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're good. Let me get my hex translations ready. There's one in here. But it's in the other terminal. Alright, August 2nd, no year, local, progress report 9.email. Oh, see, I got into ghosting when they invented ghosting on the Through the Looking Glass forums in, like, 1999, when they first released DrawMed. I was an early adopter of Thief Obsession. From Bob Rakowski to Ian mailing list. Subject, Progress Report 9. The basic skeleton of the simulation is now running on EL. It's not plugged into the AI system yet, but in theory everything is ready. I guess the next step is to test whether the generated scenarios make sense, or do we wait for the iteration module to... something. Alright. BCE, Osiris3.text. The first wisdom, the scribe said to the dying man, is that as the world is made of 5 elements, 1. Here the translator is clearly inserting his own beliefs onto the text as blah blah blah. So is the soul of man. Know therefore that in this life you are heart and shadow and name, and also Ka and Ba. Without all these, you would not be a living being, but a thing. What is a man without a name who cannot speak of himself? What is a man without a shadow who is not anchored in the world? What is a man without a heart who can neither feel nor think? What is a man without a Ka who has no essence? What is a man without a Ba who is not himself, but like unformed clay? Therefore praise Osiris, the king of eternity, the lord of everlastingness, the eldest son of the womb of Nut, he who traverses millions of years in his existence. I'm pretty sure they were created by, the guy, the username was Clayman on the Through the Looking Glass forums. I believe it was 1999. The year Thief Gold came out, before Thief 2. I mean, now I'm curious. I'm going to double check that right quick. Official Ghost rules. TTLG. There we go, yeah. Thread, official ghost rules. Okay, the latest draft was published by our friend Clatremus in 2017, but... it was on the IDOS forums, excuse me. And now the Square Enix forums, so... let me see if I can find the... I'm trying to find the original thread. Official Ghost Rules, Thief, Square Enix forums. Oh, can't find it. It's not worth any more time tonight, but I am fairly certain it was 1999. Yeah, I forgot it was not on TTLG. It was on the official IDOS forums back when those were a thing. Oh God, I'm so old. All right, next talk. Academic archives. January 1st, 2009. 2000. There it is. Alright, Just War excerpt. Oh, this one is wild. I remember this one. Democracies Alter, or On the Just Causes for War Against the Indians, by Juan Ginés de Sepúlveda. Written in 1547 to justify the Spanish conquest of the Americas. The Spanish have a perfect right to rule these barbarians of the New World, who in humanity are as inferior to the Spanish as children are to adults, or women are to men. For there exists between the two as great a difference as I might even say between apes and men. Compare then these gifts with those possessed by these half-men in whom you will verily find the vestiges of humanity, who not only do not possess any learning at all, but are not even literate and eat human flesh. Therefore, if you wish to reduce them, I do not say to our domination, but to a servitude a little less harsh, it will not be difficult for them to change their masters. Like, now, I'm down with calling cannibalism backwards and morally reprehensible. Like, that's one thing. Like, yeah, you can... I'm comfortable saying we shouldn't be cannibals. And I'm pretty universally okay with that. But, man, when he starts going off on, like, they're as inferior as women are to men, it's like, oh my god, dude, what a difference 500 years makes. Okay, first things first, let's go for the other terminal. There's a hex to translate in here, too. Literary Archive, 1759, Common Era, Body and Soul, that text. But it is commonly supposed that the Egyptians believed the soul to live as long as the body continued undissolved, and therefore tried this method of eluding death. Could the wise Egyptians, said Nicaea, think so grossly of the soul? If the soul could once survive its separation, what could it afterwards receive or suffer from the body? The Egyptians would doubtless think erroneously, said the astronomer, in the darkness of heathenism and the first dawn of philosophy. The nature of the soul is still disputed amidst all our opportunities of clearer knowledge. Some yet say that it may be material, who nevertheless believe it to be immortal. Now this hex at the bottom translates to, eternity is in love with the productions of time. And then local, July 15th, no year given, soma.email. From Sun Wei Yang to Arkady Chernyshevsky. Subject, names. Names are a funny thing. I remember how much we struggled to come up with a name for our project. All serious scientists name their projects by just translating them to Greek or Latin, right? Corpus made me think of some horrible disease, so we used the Greek word instead, soma. Quite appropriate. But then, since we needed corporate funding, we had to come up with a backronym. Corporations love backronyms, you know. They even sent us a list of buzzword-heavy suggestions to help us get started. Stuff like self-sufficient orthostatic modular android, sustainable observant mechanized anthropoid, skeuomorphic omni-adaptable mobile anthropomaton. After a while, we got so frustrated that we started getting silly. Saber-toothed, overexcited murder android, sentient orthopedic monkey automaton, strange Olga's menacing assassinbot, superb octopod marinades apelings, satisfying overcooked mint alligator, stinky ornithological mule allocator, skroink oof minky ack, stupid obscure meaningless acronym. In the end, we all ended up hating the name Soma just because we had so many fights about it with the sponsors. So when Alexandra told that story about the Talos principle, it caught on. I don't know whether it really fits, but I kind of like it. Alright. Let's go hunt for QRs and paint buckets now. Actually, one other thing we can do. Grab... There are 2 Easter eggs on this map. Grab the first one quick, if I can find it. It's back here somewhere, I thought, anyway. I thought it was back here somewhere. Maybe I lost it. It is over here, I just didn't look close enough. There it is! It's Pac-Man! Okay. Paint buckets and QRs, that's next. Theory. This place is some kind of preserve for human history and weirdly endangered species. Sheep v69.1.0579. Theory. Trying to find answers will only bring pain. Ceasing to care is the only escape. Samsara v72.4.0016. Theory. This guy's 10 times more help than you, Samsara, so shut your face. Sam v1.1.7383. Theory. We're in some kind of incubator waiting to be hatched. Sheep v69.1.0589. Theory. If you knew how little you know, you wouldn't be exposing it here. Dog v55.1.4917n. Not one there. Just checking all the paint bucket spawn points. Boom! There it is. I like putting them right by puzzles. Alright, let's go basic. I have no idea what's going on, do you? Alright. There's one more Easter egg. Then we can start solving puzzles. So to the right of the entrance to Blown Away, there's a secret tunnel. If we go down it, it starts getting weird. Starts getting weirder. There's some Minecraft blocks. Just go full tilt too weird. Then we can't get back in there. Alright, so before we do Blown Away, I'm gonna break the usual sequence here a little bit because of how we play to get the stars. Oh, more QRs. I figured it out. Now what? Dog v55.1.4917n. The only meaningful purpose is to bring about an end of purpose. The Shepherd v82.23.0186. Purple Worldview! Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate having you. Alright, so, we're gonna do whoosh first. Because it allows us, we need it solved and we need to manipulate it a little bit in order to get a star in one of the easier yellow puzzles. Normally I do the easiest puzzles first, but... So, there's our sigil, so what we ultimately need to do... turn off this fan and get back there. Seems straightforward enough. Use this fan. We can gather these fans as we go. We use this one to push out that crate. We're gathering some tools. See, we have 3 different fan spots here as well as another crate. So one thing we can do, plug a fan in here. This shows us that we can interrupt this laser. When we do, we can run in here and pull that fan off the wall before it charges back up. That's really the only utility for this one. What we need to do now is set ourselves up to get here as fast as we can. Let's put one of our fans here. Let's put one of them here. And let's put the last one here. Now you'll notice we can't block the laser from here. Pick up our crates. What we can actually do is stack the crates, use the fan to jump on them to interrupt the laser, and now we can ride these 2 fans over to our sigil. Like so. But we're not quite done. Move these a little closer to the wall. I should still be able to get on them. The setup trick is to jump on the wall and manage to bring one box over with you. Because then you can put a box on that switch and it elevates that red laser. That is what we need to get the star in the next puzzle over. First thing, we want to power that up so we can get that box. Simple enough. Now we can use the box to keep the gate open. We can take a second with our lovely elevated connector to open the secret passage and get our star. Then the sigil is quite easy. And we've unlocked a new mechanic. Let's get our last two sigils first. Eagle's Nest. This is an interesting one. You kind of have to realize that you're able to drop boxes while you're in midair. Drop them both inside the puzzle. And then a similar objective to the last one. Once they're both in here, we can block the laser, power down the fan, and get our sigil. I think one more? I think it's actually a yellow that I left over here. Yep, there we go. Alright. Sunshot. Oh yeah, this one's trivial. But it is about noticing that, okay, there's a ladder there. So we can launch both boxes over the first wall. Get ourselves over with the ladder. Now, no ladder on the second one, so we have to burn one box. Send the second box and ourselves. We have the second box to open the energy gate, get that last sigil, and we are done with World B3. Let me make sure Milton has nothing new to say. He does not. We will go ahead and unlock the recorder. So we're ready for World B4. Come back next time. I think that's going to be tomorrow night, but I put it on my schedule extension. I can't promise, but that's my intent. We'll stream again tomorrow. Because it's almost 8:30, so I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to take my ass to bed, because I'm getting up in 8 hours. Let's see. Oh, we're gonna raid over to... Oh, never mind. I thought that was somebody live. Let's see. Let me check categories right quick. Just... Hey! Oh, wait. I was about to say, somebody's playing Talos Principle. It's me. Okay. Yeah, so on that note, there's actually nobody I want to bother raiding over to, so... Wait, what? How did I end up here? Oh, I clicked restart checkpoint. I meant to click restart game. Or stop game. Okay. So, that's, yeah, I know. Oh boy, yeah, let's raid over to this guy. Thank you all so much for your patience over the last week. I think at this point, I can really say I'm genuinely settled into the new place. Like, all of the boxes are empty. There are no more big chores to do. There are little things here and there. Like, I'm gonna go get a coffee table to put in the front room, and I need to get hanging supplies. I need to get like wall anchors and nails and all that jazz so I can put up all my wall decorations, my diplomas and licenses and pictures and paintings and whatnot. But yeah, like all of that is done. I'm pretty. I mean, there's still some rough nights, but I'm pretty emotionally settled now as well. So all of that is to say, I think that the upheaval is largely over, and I can start like crafting an actual schedule for my life, and that includes streams. So I intend. My goal is to stream between 3 to 5 times a week, and try to pick back up some YouTube recordings too. And the one big thing that I do want to kind of throw out there, not that any of these people are here at the moment, but on the weekends in particular, either Saturday or Sunday, I kind of want to do one of those days, if I can swing it. I want to start in the morning, and I want to do long streams like I used to do. So that also sounds fun to me. Regardless, that is going to do it for me for tonight. It's 4 worlds. We did the first star world plus 3 chunks of world B, so we made some good progress. I am planning to be back tomorrow night. I'll let you know on Discord if that changes for whatever reason. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you for your patience prior to tonight. And I will see y'all soon. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, or if you're in a different part of the world, it might already be Tuesday. But regardless, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks again.